One, this is Diesel here.
Oh, am I supposed to talk to you? Let's go health.
And go health. And today we're doing a deck profile for Dark Irregulars. And in particular, we are doing what I call the pure Amon build.
Which is very strange. Based on other people's builds, they don't like to run pure Amon. So we'll see what we can do about this.
Right. So I know that there are other builds out there, and I'll probably show a couple of them over the course of the next couple weeks. But I wanted to talk about the pure Amon build today because it's what I have built, it's what I've been playing with, and it's what I've been having fun with. Now, you guys normally give a good amount of questions during one of my odd deck profiles because you feel that I'm doing something wrong, which is fine. So, what we decided to do is Koheleth here is going to ask questions that he thinks that you guys will ask, along with questions of his own, because that's what he does. And I'm going to do my best to field your questions while doing the deck profile.
Okay.
So hopefully this will be fun. We'll find out.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and just start with the starter. I start with Amon's follower, Fate Collector. Okay, Fate Collector's ability is he has Forerunner, and when he boosts a Dark Irregular, and your number of Dark Irregulars in Soul are 6 or more, you can put him into Soul after the close step of that battle and draw a card.
Mm-hmm. No problems with him.
No problems with Fate Collector. That's good to know. Some people have been running Greedy Hand instead. It's for a slightly different kind of setup than what I'm running, but I know why they do.
I mean, it's kind of less one to put 2 in Soul, but it's a -1. This is at least a break-even.
Right.
And until it is a break-even, it's a 5k booster, so he's good.
Exactly. So, next up is triggers. I have 4 heal triggers. I don't have to answer that question.
No,
right?
go ahead.
Okay, great. I've got 5 draw triggers, and 4 of my draw triggers are Hysteric Shirley. Hysteric Shirley can be put into Soul to Soul Charge 1. It helps you get to the 6 Soul requirement faster. Then I've got 7 crits, 3 of the Amon crits, and 4 of Dark Knight of Nightmare Land. Dark Knight of Nightmare Land can be put in the Soul to give +3 to a Dark Irregular until end of turn. It's just another way of filling your Soul when you're not filling your Soul. 7-5 is sort of my favorite kind of go. Some people like 8-4. I don't criticize them for it. But in this deck, you do need some extra draw. I've even experimented with 6-6. But then I don't feel like you're hitting the crits when you need to hit the crits.
Yeah, I don't like 6-6.
So I go 7-5. That's up to you guys from whether or not you like it from there. Alright, next up is our grade 1s. I'll start with Amon's follower, Hell's Deal. When placed in the rear guard, you get to Soul Charge 2 as long as your Vanguard's an Amon. In this deck, your Vanguard's going to be an Amon. So it works.
Okay.
Next up, we have Amon's follower. What's his name? Fu Ginlin.
Yeah.
Say Fu Ginlin. Fu Ginlin's ability, he's the 10k attacker. Also like him. Very, very good. 4 perfect shields. Good. And then we're going to move into, I run 2 copies of Poet of Darkness Amon. Now, originally I had experimented with running Devil Child here. And Devil Child was good. 10k booster, always good for the Vanguard. But in general, when you get to grade 3 Amon, you are locking that booster.
Yeah, because he powers up.
Yeah. So the cool thing about Amon here is that he's a steady 9k booster for every row once you get to that 6 card in Soul.
That's pretty cool.
So him behind the grade 2 12k attacker is a 21k column.
So you don't run Doreen because of that?
I don't run Doreen because of that.
Even though Doreen can push for bigger numbers.
Doreen can push for bigger numbers on several turns during the game, but not every turn.
Okay.
After a while, Doreen does piddle out, and you are no longer soul charging, and then she's just a 6k booster. She's also not a grade 1 Amon, so if I'm forced to ride her, I'm not set in a decent position for Hell's Deal. Because you don't want to run, or Hell's Trick. You don't want to ride Hell's Trick ever if you can avoid it.
Why? She goes off, doesn't she?
No, she only goes off as a rear guard.
Oh, that's pretty awful.
Right, which is why you run as many Amon as you can.
Okay, so they're vanilla Vanguards.
That's right.
Ugh. Okay, so you don't run Bloody Calf either, so...
Yeah, Bloody Calf is
Bloody Calf is like the grade 1 Gwen the Ripper, kind of +2 when it's played, kill a grade 1 or less.
Right. And that one's not
It's
bad.
actually a really good card.
It's a really good card, and it is a counterblast, which this deck doesn't use a lot of.
Yeah.
I like the steady 9K boost personally. That's
I haven't seen anybody else play it, so
yeah. And so far, I mean, consistency wise, it runs into the problem that most Amon builds have, but at least it can hit 21K on the side,
which is always nice.
Yeah. Okay, then we move into grade 2s. Let's lighten up. Oh no, Chandra's hair. I run 4 copies of Amon's follower, Ron Geenlin. That's the 12K attacker. Like I said, 12K attacker, 9K booster. That's 21K column. Very good. Very, very good. I'll take it. Then I run 4 copies of Hell's Draw, which is the grade 2 version of Hell's Trick. When placed on the rear guard, soul charge 2 if your Vanguard is an Amon, which it will be in this deck. Then I run 3 copies of Amon's follower, Psychoglaive. I know it says Psychograve.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm pissed.
But it's Psychoglaive. Okay? Psychoglaive's ability is Counterblast 1 when it's placed on Vanguard or Rearguard. If you have 6 or more cards in the soul, I'll say cards because it's a dark or regular deck, you can soul charge 1 and it gets +5 until end of turn. This is also another really good late game Rearguard, because you've already got the 6 in soul, you play it on the side, you flip, you get another power up for Amon, and your row becomes a 21 on the side as long as you got a 5K booster in the back, which you should. 7K booster. Sorry. 7K booster is what I meant. Which you should, because there's plenty of them in here.
Yeah. I think most people take him out for Gwyn the Ripper.
They do. And I can understand why, but again, it's one of those things that if you are forced to ride Gwyn, then your Hell's Draws are not going to work. Yeah. And it can slow you down a lot. So it's just something that I tend to not play in this particular build. Okay, finally, grade 3s. You are not going to be surprised by my grade 3 lineup. 4 copies of Demon World Marquis Amon.
Marquis!
And 4 copies of Demon Marquis Amon Reverse. Yeah.
Why?
8 copies. No. So, let's talk a little bit about the way I like to play this deck. Most people are going to try to ride Reverse as quickly as possible and hope that the soul charges get them the 13K into the soul. And that makes sense. It does work that way, and it's effective that way. I like it when I can to go ahead and get Amon on the field for at least 1 turn. Because generally, the number you're looking to hit is 6. But after you hit 6, the next number you want to hit with Amon is whatever number is going to cause him to hit a number by himself.
Yeah.
So, 8 would get him to 21.
If he's cross-ridden.
If he's cross-ridden, right, which, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then, maybe another 5 after that if you can, sometimes. So, you're looking to hit numbers, and you have to pay attention to what Amon will give you with those numbers. So, this is where I put all my counterblasts into. A lot of times, I'll have a turn where I'll just go, I'll play a Hell's Draw, put it in the soul, I just soul charge 3 and kill the rear guard. I'll play another Hell's Draw. That's 5. 5 cards real quick for Amon for that 1 turn and a rear guard gone. And it helps with fixing when your opponent is playing a deck where they're also low on hand a lot. You can make it so that their fields, they have to recover their field, which is going to be very hard for them. And you don't need to recover your field so much because you're cross-riding into Amon Reverse. Okay. Amon Reverse's ability, for those of you who don't know, Limit Break 4, lock one of your rear guards as an activated ability, and he gets the +1 effect of the original Amon, +1 for each card in Soul. And if you have 6 or more cards in Soul, an additional crit. Also, he has the Cross-Ride ability. If this is in Soul, this is a 13K. So, usually, like I said, you will end up locking the back rear guard behind him, unless it makes a number that your rows on the other sides can't handle. If you have to drop a 4K booster on the bottom right, and you've got Psychoglaive up front, forget it, don't worry about it, lock it, and go ahead and take the chance with Amon with a big booster. Because if your opponent doesn't have a perfect guard, they're taking that damage. I had one guy foolishly try to 2-pass Amon when he was at, I believe he was at 30.
Wow.
So he put up 25k shield for a 2-pass.
Yeah.
And then I hit it. So he hit 3 damage, I think, and I got to draw a card out of it. But that's a lot of shield to put up for a maybe.
Yeah.
So it's either a perfect guard or a take for most people.
Yeah.
So you got to figure that this is going to work out well. So I've kind of gone over the deck. I also want to talk a little bit about the things that I think it's good against. Amon, to me, especially this particular pure Amon build, seems really good against Link Joker. It has a lot of pluses against the current Link Joker scene, because most people with Link Joker go for the triangle lock. For those of you who don't know what the triangle lock looks like, this is your field. I don't know why it's your field, but it's your field. They lock that, they lock that, and they lock that. That way you only have one attack, and your attack is with your Vanguard. But that means you have a booster in the back somewhere, or a card that you can play as a booster, that you can just lock
and still put
and still get all that pressure in on Amon. Now, that pressure is important for this deck because the main problem with this deck is keeping hand size. Because sometimes you just will not hit your soul charges. It won't happen. And it doesn't seem like it would be a big deal, but when you're at 4 and you desperately want one more card to throw into that soul, sometimes you have to drop a 10k shield. Sometimes you gotta drop a Hysteric Shirley, which charges another trigger, And so you're not getting the shield numbers that you would like to have in your hand to defend, even with a 13k. So my suggestions on how to deal with that, some people really like Dimension Creeper, and it wasn't addressed in this why I don't run Dimension Creeper.
Why don't you run Dimension Creeper?
Dimension Creeper. For those of you who don't know Dimension Creeper is a card that when it's in Soul, as an activated ability, you can discard it from Soul, and then Soul Charge 2. So it's always a +1. It's sort of like Hysteric Shirley's ability, except you don't have to play it from your hand.
You just ride it.
Yeah, you can ride it, or maybe you'll get lucky and Soul Charge 1.
Yeah, bank that Soul.
And it's not bad. It really isn't. One of the reasons I mentioned earlier why I don't run it is because it's not an Amon. So if I'm trying to get those Hell's Tricks off early, it hurts a little bit. It slows it down just a tad.
Yeah.
The other reason that I don't run it is because it's iffy to go reckless on this deck. When I built the Ragey deck, I told you guys before that I did a Rush Recklessly build. It's Soul Charge as much as possible, as quickly as possible, even if it means Soul Charging your heal triggers, even if it means Soul Charging key cards that you think you'll need later on, 11Ks, because getting to 15 Soul is super critical right away. I don't feel that way about Amon. Amon, you need to take your time on defending yourself when you get them up to the 11k or the 13k. So playing a card like Dimension Creeper is adding another crapshoot on Soul Charging to your deck. I'd rather get him to 6 and stop than have a potential to get him even higher and just start draining my soul like crazy.
Yeah.
That being said, I can definitely see why people would run Dimension Creeper in this deck. And if you want to run Dimension Creeper in this deck, the cards that I might take out to do so would be, I don't know, probably either your Dos Amons that you were using for power boosts, or even a couple copies of the 10k Attacker. Because Hell's Trick is quicker than Dimension Creeper by a large margin. Mm-hmm. But don't be mad at me if you ride Dimension Creeper and then you can't use your Hell's Draws. Just saying. So, any other questions you can think of that people might ask?
No, based on what I've seen, it's pretty natural.
Yeah. So, we'll give you guys a tour of this deck in play, and I will bring you other Amon builds later on throughout time just to give you guys an idea of what other builds look like. I'm also going to do a Master of the Fifth Element build. I'm telling you this now, so I actually end up taping it. And I'll make sure that you guys get to see all of the cool stuff that Dark Irregulars does during the set. So this has been Diesel, and we'll see you guys soon.